Glock perfection is a marketing term and a meme all at the same time. However, the fact remains that its striker design is still the most trusted among internet tryhards and armed professionals alike. The Palmetto State Armory Dagger has been among one of the most affordable Gen 3 Glock clones since its inception and has a cult following among its end users. But what do you get when PSA takes a stab at a more premium product line? This was our time with the PSA Sabre Dagger.
Imagine a 9mm carbine with roller delay action just like Kraut Space Magic. Now imagine it didn't have garbage ergonomics. The brand new Kuna from Springfield Armory gives you that roller delayed, smooth recoil you're looking for with reversible, non-reciprocating charging handle and ambi absolutely everything.
Our rather ostentatious model wears the M81 Desert with 10 accents. It comes with a large multi-compartment pistol case, two 17-round mags with aluminum +5 base plates installed, blacked out metal suppressor height sights, and an aluminum flat-face trigger as some of the most noticeable upgrades over a standard Glock. The RMR cut and cover plate should be familiar to those who've owned a Dagger before, and the subtle single undercut is a nice touch. They decided to split the difference with the finger groove crowd and go with a single bump under where your middle finger rests on the pistol grip, which will be a bug or a feature wherever you fall on that chart. But the texture panels throughout the pistol are substantial enough to aid in purchase without being cut your hand sharp. I would have preferred if they stuck with that texture throughout the pistol grip and on both sides of the frame you engage when shooting in a two-handed grip, but it's a minor gripe and likely one only myself and competition shooters will care about. The fit and finish overall does feel like a step up from a standard Dagger and is way more than just a paint job and tin finishing. The trigger has way less creep than even a stock Glock, and their inclusion of a Gen 4 ejector made for a consistently good shooting experience. At the mid $600 price range, this does put the pistol up there with a lot of factory guns from other major players in the segment, though this does, however, come with all the bells and whistles. Modding an OEM Glock to have all of these same features easily places you well over $1,000, but I can definitely see why some people prefer to go that route as you inch closer to the $700 mark. Either way, this is a competitively priced pistol that goes bang, and it is indeed a step up from the average Dagger or Glock MOS experience. Odd looks from the Fuddy RO notwithstanding. So we're familiar with PSA products. We've got rifles, we've got AKs, we've got cranks, we've got Sabre 308s and stuff like that, M110s. This was their take on a Glock pistol for the longest time, and they've had plenty of iterations of the PSA Dagger line of pistols. The Sabre Dagger, as their nomenclature would go, is their premium version. I do think that checks a lot of the boxes for premium, especially when compared to this, it's a pretty big step up. The trigger's better, like the finish is a lot better. And then even like from a feature set, you talk about like mounting dots and stuff, like the finish will start to matter to you. Stuff like the ejector, like a 3rd gen ejector versus a 4th gen ejector, that's a pretty big deal.
No, there's definitely a lot of upgrades on this from the standard. I mean, this is obviously very much catered probably towards somebody who shoots competition or somebody who takes shooting a little more seriously.
Yeah.
Just for fun, we threw the little micro comp from Strike Industries on here. One of the big things that we kind of noticed is the trigger on this feels significantly nicer.
Yeah.
That being said, the price difference between these two is at about
It's like $200-300 difference, yeah.
That jump in price is getting you a better trigger, magwell, texture.
A lot better fit and finish. And it's hard to reach through the screen here and kind of do it for you, but Ghost in this feels a lot cheaper. And it's meant to be that. That's not to disparage this. This is meant to get more people to be able to own a semi-automatic pistol that takes Glock mags, right? I could probably do this with a P80 build, right, where I'm going to drill it myself and spend a bunch of time, money, and energy, but I own the specialized tools already. Maybe you bought one of these, realized you wanted to get a little bit more serious about shooting, and had some wants on. Again, we threw in the new Primary Arms RS10NR. We shot it plenty. We only had a couple of hiccups, but I think a lot of it had to come down to the magwell.
I think it's the magwell and the actual grip itself. I didn't see it as much with Glock mags. When we were using the actual P mags, the Glock P mags,
yeah,
it was a really tight fit, and it was kind of hard to get it out of the gun. Right. Now, if you have like a magazine extension, it's not really a problem. Go ahead and hold your gun up so I can see your grip. If you look on Josh's model, so on Josh's gun, there's a cutout here. And this is how all of the standard dagger frames are. So in the event that you do get a stuck mag, you can grab the lip and strip it out. On here, they enhance the gun by adding a mag well, so it is easier to insert your mags. However, if you look here on the inside, you can still see that that cutout is there, although it is covered. So some of the problems we were having was if we got a mag in here and it got stuck, really you couldn't strip it out of the bottom. You would have to stick your finger through the thing to kind of poke it out.
Get dagger finger.
I think that having a mag well is cool, but not at the expense of not being able to strip a mag in the event that it's stuck, especially like in a hurry. There was, I think, once or twice when we were running a stage and went to go reload and kind of got stuck there. And
if you've extended magazines, you're just gonna rip them out anyways.
Yeah.
But you want drop-free magazines, especially in the competition world, where you're almost guaranteed to have to reload at least once. That is a more competition-focused gun, the way that we have it oriented with a comp and a red dot on it. I think you're buying into a gun like that if you plan to put all the bells and whistles, the flashlight and the optic and all that stuff.
I think if you priced out buying a Glock, doing a stipple job, putting a mag well on it, upgrading the barrel to a threaded barrel, if it's not already cut, if it's MOS, having to get plates or having to adapt a dot onto it, that starts to add up quickly, and I think that you could see yourself north of $1,000 very quickly. Whereas with something like this, if you're looking for something that's turnkey,
I do think, especially as a beater gun, dude, for a competition, like heck yeah, it's Glock compatible. I think that they were wise to go with an RMR cut. There's plenty of adaptive plates if you really wanted to go with a different footprint, and then really having cheap Glock mags. Having like again, P mags that are like almost $10 or less. It comes with a kind of a cool carrying case that you can hold 6 different magazines in. With the included magazines, you're 90% of the way of where most people want to get. So I love that PSA tries to keep it all cost effective for the end user.
Yeah.
I think that's important. You need to be spending more money on ammo and actually training than you are on the guns. But anyways, if you guys have any experience shooting Sabre Daggers, let us know in the comment section below. Likely going to have a forum post for this guy where we do like a more in-depth breakdown side by side. We're actually looking at the pictures on the stuff that YouTube won't let us see. We are also currently uploading on Rumble if you are partake in that side of the internet. So until next time, go shoot your guns and clean them periodically. I know you guys don't like doing that, but try.